Don't let fear stop you from doing something that you've been thinking about or been wanting to do.
I lose my breath whenever I see you.
Dumelang. Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you guys so much, especially with your patience with me in the last couple of months. I know I've been lacking in the consistency department here on YouTube, and that's what I want to apologize for. You guys are used to and expect at least one video a week. That is what I've committed to, and I haven't been keeping my end of the bargain. So I just want to apologize for that. I feel like work is requiring a lot out of me. There's things just always changing at work. Which is one of the reasons why one of the teachers, he's from Canada and he's been working there a couple of years, but with the recent changes constantly happening, he did a midnight run. So yeah, I'm going through that. And then juggling studies. I've also been here in China and everything being so new, and the life here in China is a little bit more difficult compared to Korea, if I'm being honest, but we'll address some of that stuff in this video as we go along. But yeah, so I haven't had the energy and the drive to just pick up the camera and record for you guys. So I sincerely apologize. Thank you to all of you that are still here, and I appreciate all the new people. So if this is the first time that you're seeing my face, hi, hello. My name is Anna, and it is lovely to have you here. I was teaching in Korea last year, now I'm in China. I can do it, you can do it. Like, there's nothing stopping you. If you set your mind to it, you do your part, God will take care of the rest. Honestly, you just need to do your part, and don't let fear be your captain. Don't let fear stop you from doing something that you've been thinking about or been wanting to do, doing your research and watching video after video, but you're too scared to submit that application. So I just want to say, you can do it. You can do it. And let's get into the questions that you guys have sent through to me so I can help you even further. So if this video is for you, please do give it a thumbs up and keep watching.
Stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors.
So guys, let's head into the very first question, which is, please share the importance of having a community / support system when living abroad. It is extremely important. Whether you are in your home country or abroad, it's important to have a support system, a sense of community, fellowship, people in your life that you can do life with. That's just the way that we were created. In the Bible, God created Eve because he did not want man to be alone. And being abroad is no different. You still need that. But I feel like it's so much more important purely because everything that you know, everything that was familiar to you, you've left behind, and you still have to start from page 1 of a book. You know, when you're writing a book, this is now your life abroad, is what it looks like when you arrive here. You need to build a reputation as an English teacher. You need to start everything from the ground up, because now the way that life is done in this new country is not the same as how life is done in your home country. The way people communicate here is different. So when you have a community or people to do life with, you can learn from them. So if you have another colleague who's a foreigner at your school, you make friends with that person. You don't have to be best of friends, but this is someone who you guys can lesson plan together, bounce ideas off one another. They'll train you if they've been here before you and show you how things are done at the school, show you around in your city. So that's why it's important. You'll have somebody who will help make your life easier abroad. I have a friend in South Korea. We literally met over social media. We haven't met face to face, but her and I will call each other on Sundays and study together, assignments together. So that's also been great to have. But yeah, that's that question. Next one. Which city are you in? I am currently in Taichung. Yeah, Taichung. How has it been living in a new country alone since you had your sister in South Korea? Coming here to China on my own compared to when I was in Korea, had my sister, was difficult compared to Korea. Purely because in Korea, when I had my sister, we did everything together. We went through all of the change, all of the figuring things out in Korea, exploring Korea. We did all of that together. Now here in China, I had to do it all alone. You guys saw on my video where I said first 3 days in and I was in tears. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean if my sister, we came here together, I wouldn't have had those difficulties. It just would have been easier to have that support system, someone to go through it with you. It's easier when you have someone going through all of these new things with you, trying to figure things out with them. But there is a South African community that presents here in South Korea, and here in China. People that you can message and ask them, hey, this and this is happening, what can I do? Or I'm trying to send money, how can I do it? Like, you will have people that you can ask. I'm also one of them. You guys are already doing it. You guys DM me on Instagram asking me questions, and where I can, I help you guys. If I don't have the answer, I tell you where you can go to get the answer for yourself. But yeah, it's been difficult doing it alone compared to Korea. And just China is just a difficult country to come here as a foreigner for the first time who doesn't know the language. Things here in China are done differently compared to back home. And it's not really foreigner friendly. Like in Korea, some of the apps and websites, they would have English translation. They would have the English version. Or you can type in the English word and it yields the results of what you want. Here in China, most of the apps and sites, I have to screenshot and then put it in a translator app. They don't have the function where I can switch it to English, which is, it's so frustrating. My phone is packed with screenshots. So that's some of the not so great things that I'm experiencing with China, is just the language barrier and the language challenges. Well, the challenges resulting from the language barrier. So yeah, it hasn't been the easiest of countries to come here alone. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's, you won't settle in here nicely. This is purely my experience, but things are getting better. You start getting used to how things are done here. You start to know where to go for this, where to go for that, what not to do, what to do, who to ask if you need help with this situation. So yeah, it's getting better. Next. Are you planning on exploring China? If so, I would love for you to vlog. Yes, I want to start exploring China. In fact, China is even a big word. Let me just say, start exploring my city. If I can start with my city and then we go to the rest of China, that would be better. I just haven't, like I said, I haven't been up to doing much, and exploring my city is also something I haven't been up to doing and picking up the camera. But to answer your question, yes, I do want to explore China, see China, and when I do so, I will vlog for you guys. My school took us teachers out on a trip here in Taichung to Crane Mountain. Oh, it's almost like a retreat in the mountains. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend to just be in the mountain. The accommodation was stunning. Oh, yeah. I did vlog it, but as I'm putting the snippets of the videos together, I don't know, I'm feeling like it's not giving me that vibe that I want. But yes, I plan to explore and I will vlog when I do. Next question. What is your favorite dish in China? My favorite dish so far is the Chinese pancake. I love the Chinese pancake. Like sometimes when I want to order food and I don't want to cook, I order the Chinese pancake. It's so cheap, but also it's so delicious. It has a filling inside it, and you'll find it's either egg, bacon, mushroom, onion. It's got different fillings, but the one that I like specifically is that one that's got the breakfast ingredients in it. It's so good. Next, any dating gossip and Ntombi. Yo guys, currently I have no dating gossip for you guys. If you followed my channel before I moved to Korea, I was in a 10-year relationship since I was 15 years old. Me and this guy had been dating a whole 10 years and we broke up. Yeah, so I had made a conscious decision that when I got to Korea, it was a year of me not dating. It was going to be a year of just being me on my own, because guys, 10 years is a long time. Next question. Would you date a Chinese guy? I would be open to it, but it would be very important that he can speak English, because if I'm honest with you guys, right now, currently, as I sit in front of this camera, I don't really have the want to learn Chinese. It's not something that I want to do. So if I'm going to be dating somebody who is Chinese, they need to be able to speak English. We need to be able to communicate, because this thing of the translation apps, that's not for me, because I've just been frustrated with it here in China. So I would not like to do that in a relationship. That's just my personal preference. So yeah. What made you decide to leave South Africa? So back in South Africa, I was working for one of the banks, and I believe I was good at what I was doing. But I had to stop and ask myself, do I want to do this for a couple more years? I didn't want to continue working for a bank. At least it's not what I wanted to continue doing right then and there in that moment. And when I asked myself, Anna, what do you want to do? I didn't have an answer. So I said, okay, I have colleagues that just went to China and they are teaching. And maybe a year away from my life in South Africa will give me a different perspective. And I will learn something new about myself, and I will grow personally. And with all of that, I will be able to answer, what do I want to do next? So that is why I moved abroad. Did Jessica also move to China? Yes, Jessica did move to China. She's in Beijing. I'm here in Taizhou. She moved later on. So I moved end of February. When 1st of March, I moved to China. She moved later than me. But yeah, we're both in China. Did you and your sister decide to move to China for your own separate reasons, or did one follow the other? It was for our own separate reasons. So I initially, when I knew that I wanted to move to China, I did message Jessica like, listen, Mogele, I am planning to go to China after this. I'm not going to go home. And then she was like, she's going to go home. So she was planning on not doing ESL anymore. So I had my reasons on wanting to move. She was going to go back home, and then things changed. So yeah, for our own separate reasons, but it helps that we're both in the same country. We're not in the same city. And this time round, we are like 7 hours apart via train. So yeah, anyways. Did you get a relocation bonus or flight reimbursement? I don't know if you mean from China or from Korea. So from Korea, they gave me a bonus for completing my contract with them, but they did not give me the exit allowance, the flight to exit South Korea. They didn't give me that because I was not going home. I was going to a different country. Had I been going back home to South Africa, they would have given me the exit allowance as well. But no. But then in my current contract here in China, they did not give me a relocation bonus. It's not part of it. But there is a flight reimbursement. But I only get that at the end of my contract. Yeah, it's just the way that we had negotiated things. Cool. Next. Is there a skill or hobby that you would like to learn or pursue? And why? Why now? Currently, the skill that I wanted to learn or pursue is to be a better teacher, which is why I'm doing my PGCE at the moment. Cool. Next. Do you have a bucket list? And if so, what have you learned trying to tick them off? When I hear the word bucket list, I'm thinking of adventures or experiences. And I haven't really made that list. I've made a list of goals and things that I want to accomplish, but I haven't made a bucket list. And I'm so grateful that you actually asked this question, because now it's forcing me to think that, Anna, you should have a bucket list. You should have things that you want to do to enjoy life, to live life, and it's not always just trying to achieve. So yeah, I will start thinking about a bucket list and start doing some of those things. Yeah. Next. Are you happy in China? I'm happy for the sake of, I'm grateful that I'm here in China and I'm able to do the job that I'm doing. And I'm living things that I was praying for. I'm currently living it. But apart from that, I'm also just, I miss home. And if you're somebody who's going to say, why don't you go home? Or why did you go to China? There are certain reasons why I've decided to make this decision. I'm working towards something. So to say, why don't you go home? Come on now. It's like if you were in South Africa and you decided that you wanted to go do your degree at UCT, but you are from Johannesburg or from the Free State, you're also going to miss home, but you're there for a specific reason. So although I miss home, doesn't mean like, go home then if you miss home. I'm here for a specific reason. So I need to do what I gotta do, but doesn't mean I'm not going to miss home and want to go home. So currently that's the space that I'm in, is I'm missing home. And I'm finding, I'm going through some growing pains here in China, career-wise, job-wise, but we'll get to that. Next. Anything you miss about South Korea? I miss my school. I miss working with the elementary students. So I'm currently at a kindergarten, and it's a lot. The kindergarten is a lot. Like, it just drains my energy. At the end of every single day, I am exhausted. So I miss working with elementary students where I didn't have to be as animated. I didn't have to be, there was more student talking time than teacher talking time. So I didn't have to be as hands-on with their learning that I need to be with the kindergarten. And I know it's because they're small and they don't know much English and they're still learning. So it does require me to do, a lot of hands-on work. I can't just give them a game or an activity or a worksheet to do and they do it and I just go around helping them where they get stuck or guide them. I literally need to be an active player in their learning, else it doesn't happen. So I miss the elementary students, and also with elementary you're able to have like little conversations with them and get to know them that way, and with the little ones there isn't that, so I do miss it. What else do I miss about Korea? I never told you guys, but I was tutoring on the side when I was in South Korea. I was tutoring, but also I had a friendship with the young lady that I was tutoring and her little family, which I do miss them as well, and just going to their house and being able to just have conversations with them and learn things about Korea from them. So I do miss that as well. I miss them as well. It's just those are the relationships that are formed there in South Korea that I miss. But anyway, how has it been adjusting to a new country? It's been difficult. I think I already answered this question, how it's been. It's been difficult. China is not easy, to be honest with you. Adjusting to a new country, it's been difficult. yeah, like being the only black person at my school. Yes, there's another foreigner who's an English teacher, but he's from America and he only works part-time, so it's literally just me, because then he works until the morning and then he leaves and it's just me. And also my responsibilities compared to the responsibilities he has are two different things. So just having someone to relate to, yeah, I miss that. And just also having, I definitely need to make friends here in my city that I can go out with, do things outside of, you know, going to school and doing what I got to do for work and my studies. I need to have a life outside of the classroom. I need to have a life outside of my studies. That's the component that's missing when it comes to are you happy? That is the component that's missing, is a life outside of my day-to-day, which I need that. And the sense of community is what I picked up I need. Otherwise, life wouldn't be as difficult, I believe, if I had those things. How are you dealing with homesickness? How am I dealing with it? Not well. There was, which weekend was it? In the beginning of May, we had a long weekend. There was a public holiday, although we had to work for it. It wasn't free. But anyways, I literally was on my couch the entire time. I did not leave the house. I just was not up to leaving the house. So I was not dealing with homesickness very well. I was not dealing with how I was feeling mentally very well. Yeah. But at least I do chat to family back home, which makes it a little bit easier to still have that communication. So that's the thing that does help. What else? Next question. Have you experienced racism in China? I have not experienced racism yet. And I hope that I don't, at least nothing drastic, you know, like if it's just minor, smaller things that I can overlook, sharp. But yeah, I hope that it doesn't get to that level of racism. How are you finding China compared to Korea? I keep using this word. I'm finding it difficult to settle in as a foreigner in China compared to South Korea. I found it easier to be a foreigner in South Korea. And I'm saying I found it easier to be a foreigner in South Korea because I found that South Korea sort of caters for English speakers, for foreigners. I mean, you have boards, like road signs that has the Korean and the English. Their apps, you can translate it, like whatever app it is, some of them, you can switch it to English. You find that it's got the English version and a Korean version, especially with banking. There was an English version and then the Korean version. Here, everything is in Chinese, even when you're doing shopping. Like with Coupang, you could go you can switch it to English and it translates and you can do your shopping in English. Here, Taobao's and all of these other shopping apps, there isn't the English version of these things. So a lot of it, you have to screenshot this, and put it in the translator app just for you to be able to buy bread. Obviously, after you've done it a couple times, you know, okay, this is what I want. You don't need to translate anymore because you know how it works. So those are the two comparisons, the biggest thing compared to South Korea and China. And also, I feel like, at least where I am, I found that the lack of English speakers, especially when you need help with certain things, has just been horrible. Like the other day, trying to speak to the head of my department, I needed to have an understanding of the insurance that they've put me on. What am I actually covered for on that insurance? If this and this was to happen, what does the school do for me? Or what is the insurance that you guys have put me on? What does that do for me? And it's like, the lack of understanding, the communication was just horrible. And before that, I wasn't well, so I went to the hospital to go and see the doctor. And everything in there is in Chinese. So now trying to find where I need to go, what I need to do just to go see a doctor at that hospital was a shit show. And eventually I sat down and I was crying. What if I had something severe or serious happening with me? Is this the experience that I was going to go through? Is what led me to tears, because I was scared for my life. And that is what I need to go through if I had something serious going on with me. So I was like, God, please may I keep me strong and healthy, because I cannot. And then when I got to the doctor's office, I finally did get to the doctor doesn't speak English. So that just put the cherry on the cake, because wow. But I recently went to the dentist yesterday, so I had chipped my tooth and they did a refill, and at least there was a guy who spoke English, and at least I could communicate with them. I have also realized that the work culture here is different compared to South Korea. So here it's like work. Like, even if you're not feeling well, listen, you order your meds, there's an online click. Meds comes delivered at your school, and you keep it moving. Like, work. They like to work here. It's always working. Like I'll be required to go to work on weekends because they're having some sort of an event thing. I have to be there. So yeah, it's exhausting. Working in China is exhausting. Another thing with a work culture that I've realized is, I mean, if you do want to take sick leave, shapo, but they take that day off your salary. So it's important that you look at your contract to see, is there sick leave? How many days of it? Is it? Hey, you must just note that it's probably, if you take the day, you don't get paid for it. It's just how it's been for me. What else? Public holidays. So in South Korea, when there was a public holiday, great, it's a public holiday. School's closed, we don't go to school. Here in China, although it was a public holiday, you don't just get it, it's not free. Everybody would need to work a Saturday or Sunday, whatever their workplace decides, to make up for that public holiday. So public holidays here are they're not a holiday, they're not for free. You would need to work it on a Saturday or Sunday, which for me, I feel just defeats the point. I would rather like to have my weekend, because 7-day work weeks or 6-day work weeks they're not it. It's not for me. So I would prefer them not to have the public holiday and just work Monday to Friday, have my 2 days of weekend to rest, and then we keep it moving is what I would prefer. That's why I'm saying the work culture here is on another level, which is also something that I've picked up that's different from South Korea. So yeah, there's that too. Next one. Have you made friends in China? I've made acquaintances, and this is just purely on social media, where I know people that also just got to China around the same time as me, or before or after. So people that I communicate with and ask for help when I need help. But that's purely it. But I haven't made friends where we can go out and grab a cup of coffee. I actually haven't met foreigners in my city, other than the one that I work with, but he's American and he's much older. I mean, he's been here for many years. He has a wife and kids, one in middle school, one in primary school, so he's a lot older than me, and it's not going to be that friendship like that, you know. I mean, we're great colleagues, like we get along very well, but my school has just hired a South African teacher. She's coming from Japan. She'll probably be here this week or next week. So I'm really hoping that it's somebody that I can get along with, that we click well, we gel well together, we work well together, but can also build a friendship. Next question, why did I leave South Korea? I left South Korea because I had a look at my ESL journey there, and I feel like I had gotten what I needed out of it. But because I realized that this is what I love to do, I wanted to grow a bit more, to be challenged more. And from what I've heard and watched on YouTube, I knew that China would be that sort of environment for me, but also for financial reasons. So here we are in China. So that is the end of this part. I'm gonna make this into a two-part video, otherwise the video is gonna be too long. So if you got to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next part of this Q&A. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
My heart, what is it